In a small town, there lived a man named Mr. Harris, known to everyone as the Poor Man. He lived with his wife and two children, Sam and Lily, in a tiny house at the edge of the village. The roof leaked during rain, the floor was cracked, and sometimes they slept hungry. Every morning before the sun rose, Mr. Harris would get up, wash his face with cold water, and walk miles to find work. He worked as a helper at construction sites, carried heavy loads for shopkeepers, and sometimes even repaired shoes in the street. He earned very little, but he never gave up. His hands were rough and his clothes old, but his heart was full of love. When his children asked, "Dad, why do we have so little?" he smiled and said, "Because life is testing us, my children. One day we will pass this test." At night, when everyone was asleep, he would look at his children's faces and whisper, "I may be poor, but I'll give them a future full of hope." One cold morning, Sam came back from school with tears in his eyes. "Dad," he said quietly, "my classmates laughed at me today. My shoes are old and torn. I felt ashamed." Mr. Harris's heart broke. He looked down at his son's worn-out shoes and said gently, "Don't worry, Sam. I'll buy you a new pair soon." But when he opened his wallet that night, there were only a few coins inside, not even enough for a loaf of bread. He felt helpless. He looked at his hands and thought, "Maybe I'm not a good father." Then he remembered his promise, never to give up. The next morning, he left early to find extra work. He carried bricks all day under the hot sun. His back hurt and his feet ached, but he didn't stop. After 3 long days of hard work, he finally had enough money to buy the shoes. When he gave them to Sam, his son's face lit up with joy. "Thank you, Dad," Sam shouted. "I'll take good care of them." At that moment, all of Mr. Harris's pain disappeared. His tired body still ached, but his heart felt light. 1 month later, the village held a big festival. Everyone wore new clothes and enjoyed delicious food. Lily watched from the window and said softly, "Dad, can we go too?" Mr. Harris looked around the house. They had no nice clothes, no sweets, and no extra money. He said with a sad smile, "Maybe next year, dear." Lily nodded quietly, but Mr. Harris could see the sadness in her eyes. That night, while everyone slept, he walked out into the cold air and looked up at the stars. He whispered, "God, I don't ask for riches, just give me strength to make my children happy." The next morning, he surprised his family. He had collected leftover fruits from the market and made a small feast at home. The children laughed, danced, and said, "Dad, this is the best festival ever." He smiled. He didn't have money, but he had created happiness with love, and that was worth more than gold. Years later, time passed. Sam and Lily grew up watching their father's hard work. They studied seriously, knowing how much their father had sacrificed for them. When Sam finished school, he got a scholarship to study in the city. Mr. Harris sold his old bicycle to pay for his travel. When Lily wanted to become a nurse, Mr. Harris worked nights to pay her exam fees. He never bought new clothes for himself. He never rested. But he always said, "If my children shine, my life is successful." Years later, Sam became a teacher and Lily became a nurse. The poor family that once struggled now lived in comfort. One evening, Sam and Lily came home with gifts: a new chair, warm clothes, and a pair of shiny shoes for their father. "Dad," Lily said softly, "these are for you. You gave us everything when you had nothing. Now it's our turn." Tears filled Mr. Harris's eyes. He could hardly speak. He said in a trembling voice, "I don't need anything more. Seeing you both successful is my greatest reward." One day, Sam's friend visited their house. He saw Mr. Harris sitting in his small chair and asked Sam quietly, "Your father is still poor, isn't he?" Sam smiled and said proudly, "No, my father was never poor. He only lacked money, not values. He taught us kindness, patience, and love, things no money can buy. That night, Mr. Harris sat under the same starry sky and smiled. He remembered his struggles, the hunger, the pain, the long days of hard work, and realized something beautiful. He whispered, "A man who gives love, even when he has nothing, is the richest of all." From that day on, people in the village stopped calling him poor. They called him the richest father in town.